I saw my own grave, once my name carved in marble daisies, wilting at the base like a quiet threat. Tell me, what would you do if the world insisted you were dead, while your heartbeat said otherwise? 9 years after my funeral, I walked into a chandeliered ballroom with the daughter they stole from me, and her twin. And I set the lie on fire in front of everyone. My name is Ashley Mitchell. Some people know me by another name, the one whispered in hospital corridors when everything else has failed, Dr. Kira. I didn't become a miracle worker because I'm gifted. I became her because pain cornered me and I clawed my way out. If it were you, what would you have done? Let me start where it still hurts to stand a cemetery at the edge of town, grass damp and stubborn, a headstone with my name, and a little girl kneeling there, skinny knees pressed into the earth. Her name is Zoe. She's 9, she's brave, and she's whispering to a mother she's been told is dead. Then a shadow cuts the light. Monica, my stepsister, all perfume and sunglasses, and a smile shaped like a blade, tells my child that girls who talk to graves get sent to special homes, the kind with quiet hallways and too much medicine. That's how you break a child without leaving bruises. Do you think that's fair? I wasn't there to stop it. I was stepping off a plane with Wendy, Zoe's twin, the other half of a story torn in two. Same eyes, same face, same funny little dimple. One girl raised in sunlight, the other in the shade. If you're wondering how a dead woman walks through a terminal in a Navy suit that could buy a car, here's the part people skip because it's ugly. I didn't die. 9 years ago, my father locked me in a basement. Because I disgraced his name, my stepmother turned cruelty into a routine, and chains were cheaper than compassion. I was 7 months pregnant. When labor came, a good man named Dr. Harris risked his career to help me. I had twins. Monica took the first baby, tiny, sick, fighting for breath, and disappeared. Then they told me the second baby, Wendy, had been born dead. That silence, the one the cruel call mercy, pressed on my chest like a cinder block. Dr. Harris looked into my eyes, placed a breathing baby in my arms, and whispered, "Go now." We slipped out while my stepmother arranged a cremation for a living child. Sometimes I wonder how people sleep after the things they do. Then I remember monsters sleep fine. I ran. I learned medicine the way people learn a second language when they're desperate, with hunger and a dictionary of nights. I listened to sick bodies like old radios, tuning them until I found the station. When reporters started calling me a miracle, I kept one promise looping in my head. I will come back for you, both of you, even if I have to crawl. Back at the airport that day, Wendy laced her fingers with mine and said, "Mommy, are we going to make the bad people sorry?" I told her we're going to make them wish they'd never been born. Then I bought her ice cream because revenge and motherhood take turns, you know what I mean. We checked into a hotel where the door handles looked like jewelry and our names rolled off tongues like we belonged. My assistant Tyson slid a briefcase onto a marble table stuffed with receipts and affidavits, and my heart thumped in a rhythm only 2 names could set right. Then fate tapped us on the shoulder. Pattern interrupt. A mirror. 2 girls. Wendy pushed open a restroom door, went for the soap, glanced up and froze. Not because the light was harsh, not because she'd found a smudge on her cheek, but because the mirror blinked and showed her someone else with her exact face. It was Zoe. Ponytails instead of braids, same brown skin, same eyes, except Zoe looked tired in a way no child should. They stared. They circled like cautious cats, and then names spilled. Monica's name hissed like steam, and in a 5-minute whisper, the universe clicked into place. They made a plan the way smart kids do when adults have ruined everything simple and bold. Make the grown-ups bump into each other and let the truth speak for itself. Cut to the lobby. Zoe staggered near the entrance legs, giving out like a candle in wind, and a man caught her before marble met forehead. Gerald Lawson. Billionaire. Headline: The father of my daughters, though he didn't know it yet. Someone yelled for a doctor. My feet moved before my mind did. I knelt, my fingers found a small, thready pulse, my lungs forgot how to behave. She looked like Wendy. She looked like me. The man holding her stared like a grizzly protecting a cub. "Who are you?" he asked. I said it low and plain, Ashley Mitchell. Yeah, that happened. He flinched like the name hit bone. He told me other doctors had called it genetic terminal. The word rang wrong in my ears, tidy in the worst way. I told him to bring her to my office in the morning, 10 sharp. He kept scanning my face like he'd seen me in a life he couldn't quite remember. I told him what I wanted: 30% of the shares in the company my mother built, the one my father turned into his mirror. Before you call me cold, understand, this power is a tool, and I had a house full of arsonists to put out. If it were you, what would you have done? That night, Gerald went home and told Monica to leave. He didn't shout. He didn't throw a vase. He just used a voice that could cut rope. Security walked her out while she tried on tears and excuses like dresses that didn't fit anymore. Lies rot fast under bright light. In the morning, I walked into Gerald's office in a burgundy suit that meant business, and an ache that meant I am not here to lose. I was ready to bargain, ready to stick needles into truth and stitch signatures onto dotted lines. Instead, he slid a folder across the desk. "Already signed," he said. 30%, no conditions. Justice, not pity. That's the twist. The mid-story flip no one plans for, but everyone needs. I'd prepared for war, and a man chose decency instead. For a second, I forgot how to breathe. We talked about the night that broke our lives in half. He'd been drugged at a business conference. I'd been drugged at my engagement party. I stumbled into a number I couldn't read. He unlocked a door he thought would keep the world out. Two strangers set up to fail, one cruel hand behind the curtain. We didn't romanticize it. We named it a crime done to us, and then we looked at the only true miracle: two little girls who needed both of us whole. I studied Zoe the way I study the stubborn cases people bring to me, with their last hope attached. The public photos had already told me a story: pale nail beds, the wrong shade under the eyes, a tremor in the fingers. I told Gerald it didn't track as genetic. It tracked like low-dose environmental poisoning, with malnutrition layered on top, the kind of slow-drip harm that keeps a child fragile but not gone. Saying it out loud tasted like copper. He whispered one name. We both heard it. Stick around, because what happened next will blow your mind. We built a treatment plan that wasn't flashy, because bodies don't heal for applause, they heal for patience. Detox in steps, nutrients like bricks, rest like medicine labs, with chain of custody that would hold up in court. Within days, Zoe's eyes began to clear, hope tinting her cheeks in a pink I hadn't seen in her photos. Wendy cheered every centimeter of progress like a sportscaster. I moved into a secure apartment in Gerald's building. Same address, different floor. Because safety beats pride when you have children and enemies. While the girls braided friendship into a rope you couldn't cut, Tyson and I stacked receipts. Dr. Harris recorded a statement on video: the basement, the twins, the night he helped me run, every detail logged. We had DNA that could make a blind judge see. We had cemetery invoices forged, death records, embezzlement trails, a money path my father thought he'd vacuumed. We looped in a few police officers with spines, the kind who still believed the badge had a purpose. We needed a stage. Fate delivered a grand one. The Bentonville Grand Ballroom wears wealth the way peacocks wear feathers, without shame. Red carpet press line string quartet, 100 people drinking bubbles and clapping for themselves. My father Richard loved that room, my stepmother Patricia loved being seen in it, and Monica wore red like sirens. We pulled up in a black car without a logo, and Gerald stepped out first. Flashbulbs popped for him because muscle memory is real. He turned, held his hand back toward the car, and I took it. The cameras inhaled. Then came the punchline, two little girls in matching purple fingers welded together, eyes too bright to be anything but truth. We walked in like we'd always belonged on those floors. Because we did. Richard's smile tried to do three things at once and failed at all of them. Patricia's eyes flattened into mirrors. Monica turned gray in a room built for gold. Gerald took the microphone. He thanked donors because the script demanded ceremony. Then he cracked the script in half. He spoke about drugged drinks and stolen babies, about graves built for the living, about how easy it is for powerful people to rewrite history when no one is watching. He said my name. The spotlight found me. I stood. 100 conversations died mid-sip. We rolled the tape. Dr. Harris' steady voice, folded hands, tells the room about the night he delivered 2 babies, about how one was declared dead to mask a kidnapping, about how he couldn't live with that, and helped a young mother run. Patricia hissed liar at 30 feet of projection, which is a choice. Richard tried charm, then thunder, then the oldest trick in the book, call the woman crazy, and wait for the room to nod. He had used that trick 9 years earlier, right before the chains. Men like him don't change, they just rotate their excuses. Then the moment when arrogance outran strategy. Patricia forgot cameras existed. She said we did what we had to do, she was an embarrassment. Richard stepped forward, jaw tight, and said something about a car accident being convenient. The ballroom went dense with silence, the kind that records. Officers moved quietly from the edges, not strutting, just certain. Handcuffs clicked on wrists that had signed so many lies. Some people gasped, some clapped, some practiced the art of pretending they had always believed us. Monica screamed promises of revenge. I told her calm and plain no. I won't regret this. Because some doors are meant to close with a sound you can feel in your ribs. We left the stage and stood in the hallway with the carpeting that swallows footsteps. Gerald's arm found my waist like it had always known the way. The girls wrapped our hands with theirs, a knot no one else had the right to untie. Do you think that's fair? That truth sometimes shows up 10 minutes late to a 9-year party and still has to pay full price. Or is fair the wrong word for stories like this? The days after tasted like a new language I didn't trust yet. Zoe kept blooming not all at once, but a petal at a time. The circles under her eyes diluted, the tremor softened. She ran down a hallway and didn't wobble, and Wendy cheered so loud the neighbors laughed. 6 months, I told Gerald. Give me 6 months and she'll be unstoppable. He nodded like he was memorizing a prayer. At the company my mother built, I took a chair at the table, not because I adore boardrooms, but because steering wheels don't guard themselves. Gerald passed me his proxy without a speech. He just said, "It's yours," and meant it. We aired the place out. Some people resigned, some had to be shown where the door lived, and the rest learned what accountability feels like when it's not a slogan. At home, we learned the small choreography of trying again. Gerald cooks like a man who respects recipes and then trusts his gut. I found it adorable, then frustrating, then adorable again. He asked what we were to each other. I said possibilities. He said he could do possibilities. The girls decided we were taking too long and tried to write the ending early, pushing us toward each other like tiny wedding planners with a bedtime. We laughed, we stalled, we didn't force it. Respect turned down the volume on old ghosts. Midweek. When the city hummed and the building slept, the lab report landed. Trace toxins in Zoe's system, exactly what I'd feared, matching a brand of supplements Monica had pushed, low dose, steady, the kind of harm that keeps you grateful to the hand that hurts you. That's the part of the story that sticks under your skin. Not the marble grave, not the basement, not even the fake death certificate. It's this, the slow drip poison dressed in care. If it were you, how would you rebuild trust after that? We told the girls the truth in small bites that didn't choke. Your aunt lied. Your grandpa made cruel choices. None of this was your fault. We're here now. We're not leaving. That's the whole sermon, followed by pancakes. Gerald asked if I could ever forgive the people who did this. I said forgiveness is not a coupon you hand out at the door. It's a path you walk if it makes you more free. He nodded. He didn't push. Respect again, the quiet medicine. Now I know you want an ending tied with ribbon, so here's the corner I keep in my pocket. It's late, the girls are asleep. There's a city outside and a kettle inside. I'm wearing one of Gerald's t-shirts because it smells like calm. He leans in the doorway, hair a mess for once, says thank you for coming back. I say thank you for making room. We stand there a foot apart, not touching, and it feels like the first honest breath after a long dive. We don't rush the good. We let it learn our names. I also know you'll ask the sharp questions, and I want you to. Was it right to leverage a cure for shares, or is that just how you beat a rigged game with the only card they respect? Is public shaming at a gala justice or spectacle, and do we care if it put cuffs on the right wrists? How many women have been called unstable so their chains sound reasonable? How many children are told to be grateful for the harm that keeps them small? Do you think that's fair, or do we need to redefine fair together? If you're still with me, if something in your chest tightened and then loosened as I spoke, do me a favor, sound off. If it were you standing in that lobby with a child in your arms and a stranger offering hope with a price tag, what call would you have made? If you'd found your twin in a hotel bathroom mirror, what would you have done next? Drop your take, argue with me, agree hard. Tell me your own story if you've ever been gaslit by people who signed your birthday cards. I read everything. Somewhere out there, a girl is whispering to a stone with her mother's name on it, and she needs to hear that survival is step 1, coming back to take the mic is step 2. Stick around for the next chapter. If you want the courtroom fallout, the boardroom cleanup, and the messy middle, where possibility starts to look a lot like love, and 2 9-year-olds debate whether the family dog should be named Justice or Pancake. Hit subscribe if you believe buried truths can still rise, share this with someone who needs proof, and in the comments, tell me what justice looks like to you. Not the pretty version, the real one. Because we didn't come this far for silence, we came to rise, to make noise, and to make it count.